I thought it was going to be difficult to have the best list out of this group, and I'm realizing, fuck, I'm going to be running away with the title.
My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion.
I knew it!
Like, oh shit, I forgot that existed.
Hell, I have Britney Spears in my fucking CD collection, gentlemen.
Take it easy. He's from Iowa.
We were just talking about the depressing part of the 90s. This was the fun part of the 90s.
80s, we had cocaine.
I was rocking into my critical reasoning and logic class listening to that song.
And I got an A in that class. What's up?
I think the farmer thought I was gay.
That's okay. I thought you were gay for a while, too. It's all right.
What a self-centered dick.
Man, I was a fucking moron.
Duh.
Charlie, fuck me.
Bop by Hanson.
We'll get back to the dick and masturbating jokes next episode. Let's get
our
on to
top
our
10 songs about penises.
Mariah, you can find one about vaginas if you
Attached.
want. I just drink water out of the tap, guys.
He calls semen water. Drinks it
And I think his boyfriend's name is Tap, if I remember right.
Old Tad Johnson.
Yeah.
Hey, Tap, don't worry. These guys are a bunch of assholes, all right? Welcome to the Hair Metal Guru. My name is Anthony. They call me the Guru. And today it's roundtable time because we are taking a trip back, not to the 80s, but to the doom and gloom and sometimes fucking glorious 1990s because we are going to be talking about 10 songs from the 90s, not hair metal related, that we loved. And with that, let's meet our roundtable people. To my right, I got Jeremy, my teacher buddy and drummer for the band Abrasion. Jeremy, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me again, guys. So super excited to do this one. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to our fallen hero, John Sykes. I love the homage that you made, Guru. If you haven't checked it out yet on his channel, check it out. Nicely done. Heaven just got a little bit heavier, and the house band got a little bit more rocking. So, John, you'll be missed. Thank you for all the memories, my man.
That was shit news to hear.
Thank you.
Oh, that was horrible.
I'm going to add this. Jeremy's also the drummer for the band City to City.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Currently working on a project as we speak with these gentlemen.
Go. So these guys are getting together and working on some, I don't know how much detail they wanted, but working on some music stuff. So that's great to hear. Right below Jeremy, we got Mariah. Mariah, our resident girl and younger person who makes our videos so much better looking anyway, at least compared to the rest of these fuckers. So Mariah, welcome back to the
glasses
show.
Fixed.
Hey, don't sell these guys short. That's rude.
Yeah.
Have you looked at them? Come on. Hey, at least
Here's a message for you, Guru.
at least there's a couple good-looking people on the channel. All right, Mariah, welcome back.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm really excited. It's always a pleasure.
All right, and Brian from the Hairband Basement, welcome back, Brian.
Thank you for having me on. Always a pleasure. Just seems like I'm a permanent fixture on this fucking show.
He is.
Let me get through my shit. Find me on X, formerly known as Twitter at HB Basement. Always talking music there. And download the Stationhead app where you can hear my show every Friday night, where I play the deepest of tracks, the rarest of bands, and the little-known songs from the biggest name artists from before, during, and after the decade of decadence. You will not hear Pour Some Sugar on Me or Here I Go Again.
Again. But you will hear Love Bites on constant repeat once a month.
Fuck no.
That's right.
Fuck
right.
no.
Awesome to have you. Awesome to have you back. And next and above him and to my left, we got Jay, the guitarist from Stone Park Ritual. Jay, welcome back to the show.
Oh, glad to be back.
Okay. And Jay was kind of the one who brought this episode up because as of this recording, which is Wednesday, the 22nd of January, and let me throw this out there. Today is my mom's birthday. She is 75, and my mom is the greatest person.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mom.
So thank you. And I called her before I did this, but anyway, she is amazing. So
wait, I gotta go, Mom. Happy birthday. I gotta talk about hair metal.
I was like, I called her on the way home from basketball. I was like, shit, Mom, hope your birthday was great. We chatted for a couple minutes. I'm like, I got a couple of videos going tonight, but anyway, she understands. And she's a fan of the channel. So anyway. So Brian and Jay and I did a 1980s episode 10 songs that we love that weren't hair metal. And Brian's like, because that was a little while ago. I'm editing that right now.
We still do. Okay.
And I hope to have that out in the next day or two. But if we're going to do 10 songs from the 80s, we got to go into the 90s. And the 90s gets a lot of shit, and I give it a lot of shit because of grunge. I was never a grunge fan because of nu metal. I never got into that shit. But outside of that, there were a lot of great rock bands, lighter rock bands, some heavy rock bands from that period. So today they're going to get their just due with 10 songs from the 90s that we all loved. And with that, anybody else got anything? What was this difficult? I got to tell you, it was difficult. I could have made this a 50-song episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I would struggle
It was
with
hard.
it, and I'm coming up with a lot more than I was expecting.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I said, Brian, to my wife. I said, I'm going to struggle to come up with 10. Came up with 20, 25 in no time. And I was like, okay, never mind.
Yeah,
So should we
no,
call
this
this
was
part
cool.
1 of 5?
Maybe.
Or 1 of 2 for sure.
What were we saying, Mariah?
Now,
No, I was saying like even like I'm like, oh okay, I'll come up with a bunch, but I think it'll be pretty easy to figure out what the 10 that are gonna make my list is. And that's not true. I have number 10. I have like 3 or 4 marked out and then 1 marked out and then I rewrote it and I'm just like,
Yep.
yeah, this wasn't easy. There was a lot of shit in the decade, but hey, every decade's got its good stuff, every decade's got its bad stuff.
I thought
Right
said a
on.
lot of bad stuff in the 90s. Holy shit.
Oh, there was. You
Oh.
forgot about post-grunge. Post-grunge sucks.
Oh, those pseudo punk bands that came out later.
Yeah,
Green Day,
yeah, you get all sorts of shit, but man, there's some good stuff. Some of the bands, are
Hey, some
from
of us are sitting here going, you're talking about our top 10 list for this video. You know what I'm saying? So,
All right, so
There'll be
Guru's
different
list.
lists. I don't expect
Continue.
anyone to have a similar list.
and we are not going to do honorable mentions because this could be a recurring episode. And shit, Charlie's got to come inside. It's freezing here in North Dakota.
Freezing here in Connecticut.
Today it's probably Charlie.
Brian,
Yeah,
we were at
here-
like negative 70 wind chill the other day, bro.
Why would you live there? I don't understand that.
It's
Listen
days
to
like that
fucking
where we all
penguin.
question our sanity. Yeah, we all question it.
Yeah, and then see, I want the colder weather, and we don't get it. Although today I woke up and it was 38 degrees, and then by the time I go to my last class of the day, it's 72, and I'm
I would
like,
kill for that.
Fuck
It's
you.
13 here.
make
Fuck
up your
you.
mind. What weather do you want?
Shit, it's actually warmer here in North Dakota than it is in Connecticut if it's 13 because it's like 15.
It hit 33 here today. The warmest it's been on quite
This is
a
so
fucking
horrible. I swear to God, I'd never talk about the weather for entertainment. So let's get away.
We still haven't because this shit ain't
Yeah.
entertaining. Let's get
No.
to our lists. Let's do
Okay,
this.
let's edit this shit out. Let's do this. Let's go. We'll start with Jeremy, go Mariah, Brian, Jay, myself. 10 songs from the 90s, cannot be hair metal related. And Jeremy, what's your number 10?
All right, thank you for the honor, bud. Yeah, and I made my criteria because, like we said, it was so hard to pick once you got going. So I'm like, I'm going to limit it to CDs that I actually bought and I have currently today. So I'm going to just hold up each one as I do it. This one comes out the second Collective Soul album, and the song is Gel. I freaking love that tune. This second album to me was better than the debut. I thought that they really found their niche, and I felt like that first album was a little rushed. This one was just rock and roll to its nth degree. And then we played Gel for the last 30 years, so that was another reason for choosing it. So starting off with Collective Soul, love that band, super talented. Gel's just a fun tune. There's my 10.
I love that. I love that band. And
Same here.
the reason that a lot of people will say that the first album felt, I love the first album. I think the first album I probably like better than the second one. But the first album was written by Ed Roland, their singer and songwriter, because he was attempting to get into like writing songs for other artists. So
Yeah.
he writes these songs, which are basically demos, and submits them to a record label, and they're like, holy shit, these are great. How about you put a band together and then so he does, and he's like, all right, well, can we go into the studio and re-record them? And they're like, no, let's just use your demos. So anyway, it wasn't written as a band project. So anyway, I'm huge into, and you're going to hear another song from Collective Soul from me later on. So great call.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, Mariah, what's your number 10?
Yeah, so my number 10, I had a hard time deciding, but then I'm like, I love the song so much, and I don't like the band at all. I think this is the only song I like by this band, period, because the lead singer is terrible most of the time, and I make fun of them a lot. But it's Bullet with Butterfly Wings by the Smashing Pumpkins. I think that song is great. It's fun. It just kind of sounds angry. It's off Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, which is a dumb
Yes.
album name, but
Yes.
I love that song, so I'm like, I love that song so much, and it somehow, I love it even though I hate everything else, so it's gotta make the
Yeah,
list.
I get it. Good for you.
His voice is annoying most of the time.
Yep.
I like that album a lot. I really liked the previous album, which was called Siamese Dream. There
Yeah.
were songs like Today, Disarm,
1970. What was that? The one that had Disarm on it, wasn't it?
that had Disarm on it. 1979 was on Melancholy,
Right.
that she's talking about. I love that song. After that album, they went like electronica. For an album, they completely lost me, but for 2 albums, I was a huge Smashing Pumpkins fan.
Yeah, I like that song. I just don't like nasally voices typically. So that just was never his voice was just never something that was gonna, be my favorite.
And
It was fun to make fun of, right, Mariah, when you were singing it?
Yeah, yeah.
It really
and-
was.
I
do love
the
that too.
beginning when he goes, "The world is a vampire," and then you get that bass part. That was a great.
No,
part.
that's fun, and it's
Set
just a
the
fun
drain. Isn't that the
song.
next line?
What's that?
Yep.
Set the drain. Isn't that
Yeah.
the next line?
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Okay. And man, I mean, just even after these first 2 songs, I went to college in the fall of 1991. And I mean, that's just such a important time in your life. And man, this just reminds me of hanging out with my friends, these first 2 songs. And so I'm really glad we decided to do this because this is epic shit. So
It's not
Brian.
something we typically talk about. It's fun.
All
yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Get the emotions out of the way.
That's right. That's right. All right, Brian, number 10.
My number 10, a band. I think mine isn't nearly as well known as the first 2, but the song is Labor of Love. The band's called The Snakes from their album Once Bitten. It had former guitarist from Whitesnake, Bernie Marsden, and Mickey Moody play on it. Good old 70s style rock, great stuff. This is the first track off the album. Fucking killer stuff. I mean, we mentioned the passing of John Sykes. These guys were the guitarists before they brought him on board. And yeah, I really like this album. This lead off track, it's pretty solid. That's my pick.
Isn't that basically like Whitesnake previous without
the 2 guitarists were in Whitesnake.
Okay.
The rest were all Norwegian guys.
Okay.
What's
I
the
want to
name
say
one more time, Brian?
what's that?
What's the name of that band?
The Snakes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the bassist went on to play with like TNT. Oh, and I forgot the vocalist has done some other stuff too. He was around, so it wasn't like this was his first go at it. But I mean, the guy sounds like a young David Coverdale.
Yes.
So, yeah,
And
it's a really good.
I remember Ryan talking about that. And when you name your band the Snakes, you're obviously trying to capitalize on the hey, we were connected to Whitesnake. So
Well, they were the whole band during the '87 album. Everybody but Neil Murray on bass were booted from the band.
yes.
And I mean, David Coverdale thought about just quitting music, and he had Sykes play the re-recording of the American version to slide it in. He basically wrote the self-titled '87 album.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
And then after that was done, Coverdale booted everybody. Like, fuck it, everyone's done.
Oh.
But I mean, Sykes and Coverdale were button heads because Sykes felt that Coverdale was taking too much time with this. He had a nasal infection. Sykes felt like, I think you're just dragging this for no reason. And they're already starting to, go against each other before the album was even done. So, of course, he kicked him out. But he basically wrote that album. Sykes wrote that fucking album.
You know how you get nasal problems in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Shit story.
I didn't include any, at least to my knowledge. They could have been, and I didn't realize it. But I didn't include anyone with any connection or anything to '80s, hair metal. Because if I had, "Beggars and Hangers On" by Slash the Snake Pit would have made the top 10. I think that's
No,
correct.
I would. This is a little different because those two guys were in Whitesnake before they became hair metalish.
Right.
Okay,
It was a more
that's
blues-based rock band, so it was a totally
that's
different band.
That's cool. But yeah, I Mariah, I agree. Like I wouldn't have included Slash's Snake Pit because of that. He's known, even though that album isn't hair metal, he's known for DNR. So, but whatever. I mean, fuck.
I don't think it's that far off from hair metal. I mean, you can easily put it on any Hair Nation or some shit.
Right.
Maybe.
But
Whatever. Regardless, it's a great song.
I tried to take it as far away from hair metal as possible, but remember, the only rule is that there are no rules. Well, sometimes there are rules. Anyway, Jay, let's move on to Jay. Jay, what's your
rebel?
Well, you guys have some nice rocking tunes so far. My kudos are to you. Now, here's where I get to fuck that up. My number 10 is, it had a great music video in 92.
Bop by Hanson?
No, Sir Mix-a-Lot, Baby Got Back.
Nice.
What was it?
Sir Mix-a-Lot, Baby Got Back.
You are one pathetic loser.
Oh,
Respect, man.
I respect that.
With me.
I respect that.
I forgot that song existed.
Are you shitting me?
Oh, it's a sad existence.
No, you're serious, aren't you, Jay?
I'm dead serious.
Yeah,
yeah.
I respect that.
I do too.
I like
That song.
things of a rap and hip hop nature. Quit shaking your head. Gee, I see that. I mean, I know you got the Macarena somewhere on your list. You got fucking Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera.
It was in my honorable
so
mention.
let's not give me
It
shit.
didn't make the list.
Hey, Jay.
No,
This- Oh, go ahead.
I thought it was going
I
to be
think it's actually a
difficult.
great song. I like the whole album.
I thought it was going to be difficult to have the best list out of this group, and I'm realizing, fuck, I'm going to be running away with the title here.
way.
I don't think so.
no.
I don't think so.
Shit.
Hey,
Well, slow your roll. It's been one song.
Yeah,
my
you're
God.
jumping. Yeah, you're
Hey,
too
Jay,
quick
your
to
song
finish
is
there,
so
as
damn
usual.
good, dude. Your song is so good. This is no bullshit. I used it to test out my speakers of my stereos all the time. I actually rolled my car showing off to someone about how good my system sounded playing that song, and I rolled my car. So I kind of lost that one. But
Hey, I'm actually kind of embarrassed right now. You guys are really you're
Now?
fucking with me, right? Like,
yeah,
like,
now.
pretty soon
now.
it's going to be like, ha. Okay, I'm just fucking with you. Here's something with guitars, right? Or no?
No, I fucking respect that choice.
So
dude.
do I. I straight up do. That's fantastic.
I like big butts,
You
and I
said
cannot lie. I
nothing.
mean, that's a good
Our
choice.
criteria is nothing hair metal involved.
That's
Now,
right.
because of
Hey,
that,
you stuck to the criteria. You
there
did
is
that
some
right.
bands that I would have included that I stayed away from. Brother Kane enters my mind.
You don't have to explain anything. You
No,
don't have to
anyway.
explain to these guys.
There
I
is
believe
These
everybody
narrow
fucking
ass
sticking up
loving
for them.
guys.
there
This
is
is embarrassing.
zero shame in my game. Hell,
Hey.
I have Britney Spears in my fucking CD collection, gentlemen,
Paging Dr. Faggot.
and Mariah. So
Hey,
I
for all, the
remember-
people, for all the people watching the video, I apologize. I'll be thrashing Jay later on text. So,
I remember like
I expect no less. I expect
And I'll
no
be
less
and I'll be
more.
raving with Jay and Brian later. We'll be
I
raving.
will die with you on that hill, Jay.
Hey, I'm on
Yeah,
That
hell
big
yeah.
round ass hill. I will die.
I didn't
I
hear
remember
Mariah.
the-
What do you think of the Baby Got Back's choice?
Well,
hey,
you-
you like what you
Mariah-
like. Song's
Mariah,
terrible.
do you like big butts?
That's right.
Do you think
Thank
they
you.
should be a thing?
Sure, but like, there's no subtlety to that song. It's just, I like big butts and I can't lie. I'm like, all
Yeah,
right,
but
great. What else do you
He's
have?
honest and he has
Preach.
clear tastes.
Yeah, preach it.
But I
You
remember
know who else
in
was
like the
honest?
late
Hitler.
90s.
No, I'm kidding.
But I remember in the late 90s, me and some friends went to a bowling alley. We're hanging out in the bar, and they had karaoke in there. And this tall, lanky white guy came up there, and then he sang that song and nailed it. I remember watching this performance going, holy shit, what the fuck? And then he just like put the mic down and walked out. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck was that? Holy shit.
Nice.
Guy was killing it.
Yeah,
About
Okay.
big butts, big gigantic asses.
Okay.
I saw that, Brian.
Okay.
More
Hey,
surprises coming up, fellas.
Yeah.
There's a lot worse you can pick from the 90s. There's
Hey,
I
there's a
could have
lot.
picked the Spice Girls. I mean, I
Could've
fucking hate
done
Spice
that.
Girls.
That's a choice.
at least 40% of the members of our round table are heterosexual. Okay, it's all right. Okay, let's move on. My number 10. And and I'm fucking with you, Jay, obviously, though I
I expect no
still think it's a
less,
little
G.
fucked up.
No less at all.
I still think it's a little I did not see that coming.
Yeah, I
Oh,
didn't either. That was just not what I was expecting.
You know how I
Because
say
he's
I
like,
enjoy
oh, you
this?
guys are picking your nice little rock songs. I'm like, here he's gonna come in with fucking Pantera or
Yeah, we're gonna have
something just
metal
the
here.
heaviest shit in the world. That's what I was waiting for. And
Yeah.
for Mix-a-Lot, son of a bitch.
Genius
I'll
move.
tell you what, Jay.
Genius
Jay,
choice,
you are a
genius
cornucopia.
move.
Oh
You
yeah.
proved
Hey,
that
never
this
let him know
time.
your next move, Jay. Never let him know.
No, you're an
I
enigma.
will
if I've
say
ever seen.
this.
Jay, I'll get you a
I said
dictionary
these
later.
words to my second wife. Yeah. When I met her, I said, "There's way more to me than what meets the eye, and I will prove that shit over and over again."
I thought you
I
were
love
talking. I thought you were talking about what's in your pants, though, when you were saying that. Okay.
Nah, man, that too.
It's a
Okay.
lot more than meets the squinty eye. That's what.
That's right. Okay. My number 10. This song came out in 1996, and I was right at the point where I was getting ready to drop out of college, but I was still in college. And this is the ultimate college song, and this is the only song I know by this band. The band is the Verve Pipe, and the song is called The Freshman.
Fucking
And-
love that song.
Oh
And-
yeah, I know that
Yeah.
song.
And it's about a girl who gets pregnant, has an abortion, and commits suicide.
Oh, hilarious topic.
Hey,
This is entertainment?
Let's
I'm-
put a
I'm gonna
suicide
have-
hotline number
I'm gonna
right
have
here.
some dark and I'm gonna have some dark and depressing shit in this episode.
Because
let
that's all
the rec- what's the
90s
90s,
dark
everything
and
was.
depressing. So
But
like
let
you
the
don't know what
record
to choose
show.
from.
But let the record show we went from a guy loving gigantic buttocks to a woman that got an abortion and killed
Yeah.
herself.
Yeah.
All right.
Suddenly your pick is looking so much better, Jay.
Yeah, hell yeah.
This is going to work beautifully.
But-
I'm going to bring the mood up, and he's going to drive it straight
Exactly.
into the fucking ground.
That's
Fucking
right.
emotional anchor around our necks in
But-
in the deep end.
You know, it when I do look at the 90s, I mean, so much of very little of the music was like, hey, all right, here we
No, it's
go.
all they did was dark and depressing. That's
It
what
was
the
dark
90s
depressing.
Yeah.
So the 90s sucked.
And I, you know, I kind of feel like the music of the generation kind of brings about the mood of the people.
All right,
And
it's a
I felt like
opposite.
the 80s, everything was upbeat. You know, and shit, in the 90s, it was kind of like we all were like fucking stuck. At least I
You know why, don't you? 80s, we had cocaine. 90s, we
Heroin.
had heroin.
That's
Yeah.
right. Good point.
I mean, you know, politics too. Politics is part
yeah.
of all that, and
Sure.
you know, it goes with all that.
Wait, the 90s were a very, at least economically, a very good time for this country.
No, they were.
For sure.
I mean,
But-
it was I just felt like the 90s were.
You had more conflict though, like with other countries, and there
Sure.
was that whole. I think there was. Just
There was the first Iraq war in the early 90s, but that was done in 3 weeks. It wasn't like that was a long, protracted war.
no, it's
but
not short winning
It
yet.
just
I feel like okay, like I feel like now even younger kids, most people aren't saying, you know what? I would love to go back to the mid 90s. What a glorious fun time.
No,
Yeah.
Even when I was teaching, kids would be like, what was it like in the 80s? You know, and it just seems like a more upbeat time.
it was.
And
What?
the music represents the mood of the country. And this song, The Freshman, I mean, it's about as dark and depressing as you can get. But I'll be honest, in 1996, my shit was starting to get dark and depressing.
It's a complete crap.
I'm going to give you a couple lyrics from it. My best friend took a week's vacation to forget her. His girl took a week's worth of Valium and slept. And now he's guilt-stricken sobbing with his head on the floor. Think about her now and how he never really wept. He says, I can't be held responsible because she was touching her face. I won't be held responsible. She fell in love in the first place. And then just this last part. And this just so reminds me of college.
Pressing.
For the life of me, I cannot remember what made us think that we were wise and we'd never compromise. For the life of me, I cannot believe we'd ever die for these sins. We were merely freshmen. Like you don't know shit. You don't know what you don't know. And like when I look back, like man, I was a fucking moron.
What am I, a fucking retard, man? Am I a fucking retard? Oh!
Like when I was a kid, and you think you know all this shit and you realize you didn't. And that song I think just epitomizes the dark mood of the 90s and the dark mood where I was at in the mid 90s. So sorry to be a downer, but I'm gonna have some shit like
Really,
that.
those
I've
those
got some
lyrics.
depressing songs too.
Those
Yeah.
lyrics should have ended with "Then my puppy got hit by a car." Like it's
Right.
what the fuck.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Fuck that song. Fuck that song.
But I'll be honest, I loved that song. Loved that song. So
Me too. So it's all good. It's all good.
all right. Okay. We are done with our number 10s. We're moving on to our number 9. Jeremy, what do you got?
All right. Number 9, we have these pretty boy lyricists. These guys knew how to frickin' weave a rhyme if I've ever heard a band do it. And their debut album here had a hit tune, and it's Inside Out from Eve 6. Frickin' love that tune. I love the way those guys sing it. They play great. They're fast. They're upbeat. They're fun. We were just talking about the depressing part of the 90s. This was the fun part of the 90s still.
Yeah.
You were still having a good time. You were rocking out. You were trying to keep up lyrically as they were singing. Love Eve 6, and Inside Out is what introduced me to the band. So still playing that one today. So love Eve 6.
I love that song. I love that album.
Yeah.
The next album, Horoscope, had some hits. Here's to the Night was a big hit. Promise was a big hit. But I will tell you this, their third album, it came out when I was in Iraq. I bought it at the PX. We had a little base that would sell shit on the post in Iraq, and I bought that album. I think it's called It's All in Your Head.
It is.
And it bombed, but that is an amazing fucking album. Holy balls.
You
And
think so? I'm going to have to revisit it. I got
I
it right
love it.
behind me, and I never liked it.
Love it.
Okay, I'm going to check it out again.
There's a couple songs. The first single was a song called Think Twice. I thought it was one of the worst songs on the album.
I'll be down. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I love that song, dude. Great call. And I damn near included it. So, all right, Mariah, what's your number 9?
It's a good one. Mine, I was debating whether I wanted to put this in here or not because it's a cover, but it's one I go back to a lot, and it's Hallelujah by Jeff Buckley. I just think he sings that so well. It's a great version, and there's so many good songs on that album. Everyone Here Wants You is another really good one. I think that's on that album. It's definitely by him at any rate. So it's just a great song, and he covers it so well, and it's just on my playlist all the time.
Can you enlighten me? I don't know that at all.
I think the album is called Grace.
Grace. Yeah, he died real early, so he doesn't have that much material out, but that Everyone Here Wants You, I mean, that whole album is really, really good. I think it's 94, maybe?
Okay.
Right around there.
Yeah, 94, yeah.
I've heard of him. Is it a gospel type song?
Well, Hallelujah, it's a cover of a much earlier song, Leonard Cohen, but the album isn't. But that song is. That song is just the cover, and then there's a variety of things on there.
I remember, this sounds weird, Sebastian Bach talking about that album. And I was like, back in the day, I fucking loved Skid Row. So I was like, shit, I'm going to go check out this Grace album. And I don't really remember but that version of Hallelujah, holy balls. It's
amazing. He's so talented.
Yep. Okay. Brian, what's your number 9?
My number 9, definitely not a hair band. It is Headlong from Queen's album Innuendo.
Oh, that's a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's a heavier song, one of their heavier songs, and it's catchy as shit. Such a good tune. So yeah, threw him on there. Why not? Ooh, Queen love here.
Hell yes.
The Queen love's always a good thing in my book.
Yeah, I mean, talking hair metal all the time. You don't talk Queen that much, but
What was that called? Innuendo was the
Innuendo from '91. Yeah.
Innuendo, 91. Yeah, that's that weird, like, clown kind of looking
Yeah.
cover.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does that got I Want It All, Brian?
Oh, that song is terrible.
I love that song.
I've heard that in
Hey, good question.
every single like ad and all that.
Hey, what's your question?
If I Want It
I
All,
Want It
got
All is on
Innuendo.
that you don't
That
need to
is.
look, Brian. You got me right here. It's off that album. That song is
Yes.
off The Game from
The
earlier
Game.
in the 80s.
Game. That's right.
There you go.
No,
Thank
it's
you.
not on that. And I remember Razor Fist, who I just did a video with not too long ago. He did a music mythos on Queen and spoke very highly of Innuendo. I honestly don't know if I've ever listened to that album.
The Show Must Go On is the hit off of that, and that's a phenomenal song as well. But that's a good album.
Okay. All right.
1991, great year in music.
I mean, Queen is such an unbelievably good band. I'm not breaking any new ground here, but every single one of those motherfuckers was just ultra talented.
Yeah.
Was that your roommate, Mariah?
That was my roommate, who I just found out. I've roomed with her for going on 2 years, and I just found out she has Guns N' Roses earrings, and I'm like,
Oh,
hell yeah,
shit.
that's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah. No, she told me after a video. She's like, I said, do you like hair metal? And she's like, nah. I'm like, you listen to it when I play it. And then I'm like, it's stuff like Bon Jovi and Def Leppard and Guns N' Roses and Poison and stuff. You like that? And she's like, duh, of course I like some of that stuff. I'm not sacrilegious, Mariah. Jeez. Like,
That's awesome.
I like, you listen to it when I play it. I have a feeling she doesn't have a voice. Just
yeah, well,
in there.
she likes a whole lot of stuff I don't get into. You know, current pop, Latin trap, rap, R&B.
Sir Mix a lot.
Probably, yeah, probably.
Jeremy likes R&B, Rat and Bon Jovi. That's what he likes. What's up? No.
Got it.
All right.
Much better combination.
Moving on to Jay's number 9. What do you got, Jay?
I went a little bit heavier than Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Thank you.
this time.
Vanilla
Just a skosh. Just a skosh.
baby.
My number 9 is Hold My Hand by Hootie and the Blowfish.
I fucking love that song. I shit you not. That's
Hold my
damn near
ground.
on my list.
And sucks.
Brian's gonna fucking die over there. I saw that look.
No, that's a good album. I fucking A, man. Hold My Hand, Let Her Cry was a fucking phenomenal ballad. Oh.
I mean, it's good. It was good, catchy shit. You know, you were talking about the depressing bullshit. Well, we had that shit like Nirvana and all that depressing stuff. Then in '94, here comes Hootie and the Blowfish, and it was upbeat. I mean, it was cheery.
Yeah, it was.
And after hearing that drab bullshit out of Seattle, I'm like, fuck, I can get into this. And I did.
Right on, dude.
I'm right with you, man. I remember the first time I heard that going, that chorus came in, and I was like, what in the world is this? You know, and then that album went on to be so huge that there was a major backlash. Then everybody hated Hootie and the Blowfish, but it was only because they were so overplayed.
But the problem was when the second album came out, nobody bought it.
Nope.
Fairweather
The first album was
Johnson.
so huge.
Fairweather Johnson.
Yep, there's one song on there called "Old Man and Me." I thought it was fucking great.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, talk about enormous rise and fast as shit. They fell down.
And I think that was due to the overplaying of all their singles.
Of course it was.
Of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Couldn't get away from Hootie and the Blowfish in 1990.
No, you could not.
Well, fast forward a few years, and granted on a different scale, but Nickelback. When Nickelback put out their first CD, there was a couple of minor hits on it. It was a little bit heavy-ish. I thought it was a great fucking CD. And then the second one comes out, How You Remind Me and all that stuff hits. They go to the stratosphere, and then look at the backlash of shit they got for being famous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
and
even
they
take it a
got
step further. Taylor Swift, I feel, has kind of been put in that hole as
I'm
well.
waiting for that fucking backlash.
Yeah, but they're all mediocre. Let's slow down here. It's like it was.
Yeah, mediocre, but there's a million mediocre bands. Like they're not like, the worst thing ever. There's so many worse bands than
No,
most.
but all those million mediocre bands aren't selling millions of albums and becoming huge and a household name. I think that's what bothered a lot of people.
About
I mean,
Taylor?
hey,
But
These
there's
guys
Pearl
are
Jam.
getting
Pearl
way
Jam did
too
that.
much like fame from music that shouldn't be that big.
No, and
That's-
I like how you remind me. I love about 5 Nickelback songs. There are 5 songs that I absolutely love, but then they've got stuff like Photograph, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is stupid.
See, I love that song.
So do I.
Pussy.
That song.
Yeah. So
One of the best live bands I've ever seen is
It's so
Nickelback.
it's so subjective. It's so subjective because like Creed. Remember how the backlash? And
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I liked a lot of Creed shit.
I did too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have
and
a
then
Creed
then
song that
Creed
made
goes
my honorable
away.
mentions.
Yeah,
So-
they're on my
Now
list.
Creed comes back and they fucking sell out everything they play.
Mark
Yeah.
Tremonti is an unbelievable guitarist.
Oh,
No,
phenomenal.
he is. And that's why
Unbelievable.
they're great on what's the Alter
Alter
Bridge.
Bridge. His
Yeah.
solo stuff is heavy as fuck too.
It is so heavy, Brian. So different than
It's
Creed.
great. No, Higher by Creed almost made the list. I love that song.
And Nickelback, I mean, when you see them live, they're fucking great live.
The
You
best
know,
I've
and
seen.
They're heavy, and so anyway,
Oh, they work hard for sure.
hell yes. Okay, that was Jay's. Charlie's back. Whenever Charlie pushes back against me, that's when she wants me to like pull her up.
What?
Okay, I knew it. Yeah. Charlie, you just don't listen to him because he's very naughty. Yeah, look, Charlie's down here. Yeah, you're so pretty. Okay, my number 9.
We're only on 9? What the fuck? Wow.
Yeah, aren't you doing something with Trevor tonight?
No, that's Friday. That's on Friday.
Oh, he fucking messaged me and he's like, and I thought he said maybe you said Friday. I thought he meant tonight. I was like,
Yeah,
fuck,
Friday
he's
night.
doing a video with me at 7:30. Okay. Mine.
Double
Yeah, we're only on. We're
Yeah.
really going off on some tangents.
We are.
So
Yeah, we did stuff we don't talk about all that much. I kind of expect that.
yeah.
I can't help but comment. Both of these little tangents have come after my pick. You're welcome.
Well, why don't you
Yeah.
be more normal?
I don't know if
shit?
I'm thanking you for that.
There's a reason for it.
Charlie, fuck me. Stop.
What?
pulling me. Sorry.
Wow.
This is not a
Okay.
Hey,
Wow, don't make
bestiality
it more
video.
obvious there,
Charlie,
dude.
fuck me is definitely gonna go in the opening montage. Okay. My number 9 is okay. It's another fucking sad song. Don't give me any shit. Just let me revel in my sadness. Okay. In 1990, the band Concrete Blonde comes out with an album called Bloodletting. And there was and it was a fucking great album, but there was a major hit on that album. The song was called Joey, and it's about a chick who is in love with an alcoholic. Anybody know that song?
I know that
Oh,
song. That's a good.
The name
like
sounds
it.
familiar.
Joey, baby. Anyway,
Please stop.
so it's shut the fuck up. Anyway, great lyrics and I'm an alcoholic, so I was always infatuated by songs that were about drinking and the excesses of it. I was always been an excessive person. So there's a couple great lines here. I just want to. But if I seem to be confused, I didn't mean to be with you. And when you said I scared you, well, I guess you scared me too. But we got lucky once before, and I don't want to close the door. And if you're somewhere out there passed out on the floor, Joey, I'm not angry anymore. And like I hear that, and my had an alcoholic stepfather. My mom loved him, and he quit drinking when I was 14. Became this great guy. But I think most people can relate to loving somebody, whether it's in a relationship or in a family, where you're like, dude, I love you, but you are fucking going down a bad path. And that's what that song is about. But it's so catchy. And it's a female singer named like Jeanette Napolitano. So that song went to like number 19, took that album to gold. Ton of great shit on that album. But Joey comes in at number 9. There you go. All right.
Solid.
Okay. It's a fucking great song. All right. We're moving on to our number 8, and Jeremy going to get us going.
All right. Grunge. This is one of the few grunge bands I liked, but I liked them a lot, and there were some that I did. Their first single kind of fell on deaf ears. It didn't take them anywhere. It wasn't until Man in the Box. But I frickin' was hooked when I heard the opening track of Facelift, We Die Young. Badass Jerry Cantrell.
Didn't that come out in
slaying it.
89?
What's that? No, that is
1990.
1990, my brother.
You're
Yep.
right. You're right.
Yep,
Yeah,
I barely made it with
You're
that
right.
one.
Yep.
But the video was dark. It was depressing, just like the whole freaking decade. But the song was just heavy. It didn't go anywhere. Like I said, it took till the Man in the Box to catch on. But I prefer We Die Young. It is heavy.
That's
and like I said,
Great
Jerry,
tune.
I
It is.
love that fucking song, and it has a very future-telling lyric in it. Take another hit and bury your brother.
yes, dude.
Yep.
Never thought of that.
I mean,
Till you said
considering
that.
what happened with
Yeah.
Lane Staley and with Mike Starr,
Yes.
I love Alice in Chains, man. You're right,
Yeah.
that song is
I do as
Yeah.
well.
fucking it, man.
I'll be talking
Oh.
about it later on my list.
Yep. Well, that segues well into my number 8 because it is also by Alice in Chains.
Mm.
And for that one, there was a bunch I could have gone with, but I ended up going with Rooster off their album Dirt. I love that song. It's phenomenal.
Yep.
It's just a really fun one to sing along to. So yeah, had to have Alice in Chains on there somewhere because that is maybe the best grunge band. I also like Stone Temple Pilots, but
Yeah.
Mariah,
best.
have you seen the Rooster video?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Jerry Cantrell's dad there. That was such a tribute. Made him cry the first time he heard it live.
Sure.
So,
I
fantastic.
remember when I was in high school, some kid had a shirt that had, they had that Rooster shirt,
Yeah.
and some kid wore it to school, got sent home to change his fucking shirt because of the artwork on it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Great pick, Mariah.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big grunge fan, but I did like some Alice in Chains songs, and I love that song.
Mhm.
All right. Brian, what's
I
your
put
number 8?
Nutshell on there. That was my other kind of right up there pick, but
Okay. All right, Brian, what's your number 8?
Well, funny thing is, my number 8 is also a grunge band. It
get him out of
is
the way.
it's Rusty Cage by Soundgarden.
Oh hell yeah!
I mean, a lot of, we sit here all hair metal shit and not grunge. There was some quality fucking bands that were labeled as grunge. Soundgarden is easily one of them. I remember my friend getting that album. We put on, CD because I'm an old fuck. And that's the first song from the album. Holy shit, what a great song. I remember listening and going, what the fuck? And not realizing, music's about to change. Like you said, Mariah, 91 was a great year for music. And that album, was it Super Bad Motorfinger? Yeah.
Bad Motorfinger, yeah.
Bad Motorfinger, yeah. And it's just, they're way better than Nirvana. It wasn't even close.
No, they definitely are. I mean,
Like,
Chris
yeah.
Cornell is
The
a far
guys,
better
in,
singer.
the guys in Soundgarden can actually fucking play their instruments.
That's right.
Exactly.
Damn well.
I mean, Dave Grohl notwithstanding. Dave Grohl's a
Dave
talented
Grohl's great,
musician.
but yeah.
I can't say the same about the rest of them.
No, I love Jesus Christ Pose on that
That
album.
almost made my list. It was one of those two. And I was like, Jesus Christ Pose, little more known. But I still remember a sophomore year in college, my friend putting that album on. That's the first track. And I was like, oh, shit. All right.
Yeah.
Both great songs.
Yeah.
The only Soundgarden song I ever kind of got into was Outshined. I love that guitar riff. Just never.
That's a good tune, but there's
Just
so many
never
better
got into
songs
them.
on the album.
No, there's better ones.
Outshine was good. Freddie Noose was good.
I like
Still on Black Days, I thought you would like Guru.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Spoon
Okay.
Man, The Day I Tried to Live. There's some.
I hated Spoon Man. I did not like Black Hole Sun. Can't listen.
I hated Black Hole Sun. That fucking that whiny guitar.
Yeah,
And
just
that video,
I was like,
I
what?
like the song, but the video, I think the video for that one, is that weird video? That's one of the worst music videos I've seen.
Well, that was the 90s. That was the 90s.
ugly.
What's the one line from Outshine? It's a great one too. I'm looking California,
California, feeling Minnesota.
That's
a
great.
great line.
So great.
Okay. All right. We're moving on to Jay's number 8.
Okay, so any guesses before I give it to you?
Boy, we're getting to metal
Vanilla
now.
Ice. Still waiting for it.
Okay,
Genie in a bottle.
this is what you would expect from me. Exodus, Good Day to Die.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Nice, nice.
Okay.
Back to
I
normal.
feel a little better now.
I mean, Exodus be infamously known for being Kirk Hammett's band that Metallica swiped him from. But, forward on, they had some hellacious tunes. They could easily be number 5 in the big 4 of thrash. Gary Holt's a fucking phenomenal guitar player in Exodus, and when he filled in for Jeff Hanneman and Slayer. I remember that Good Day to Die was the first song by them I had heard, and it was actually, I caught the video. There used to be a thing called Rock Video Monthly you could subscribe to, and on one tape that I got in the mail, Good Day to Die was on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, beautiful song. Evil,
Awesome.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'd almost say maybe an Overkill could be number 5 too.
Oh,
They
dude,
could've-
Overkill, absolutely. I have every one of their albums out here.
Yeah.
Testament
fan.
could.
Testament's another one. Yep.
Yep,
You could
I love
Armored
Testament.
Saint could be, in that same realm too.
yep.
And who sang Baby Got Back again?
Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Makes a
There
lot.
you go.
You call him Sir. Show him
Maybe he could have been. Yeah, I don't call him sir. I call him Mr. Mix-a-Lot. Okay. My number 8
Hey,
comes from a band that I just posted about these guys on X. I loved this band in the 90s. And in the late 90s, they started having massive ballads become hits. And I feel like it just drug them down. The band is the Goo Goo Dolls. Stupid band name. But they started as a hardcore fucking punk band. If you
Yeah.
look, their first album came out in 87. I think it's called Jed. And it is just lightning fast, barely intelligible punk rock.
Yeah.
And they put out a couple albums like that. They had an album out in 1990, I think, called Hold Me Up, where they started kind of figuring out how to do melody. They had an album in 1993 called Superstar Car Wash, which I fucking love that album.
That's where I got into them at.
Yes, it's amazing. And then in 1995, they put out an album called A Boy Named Goo, and they come up with a massive hit with a song called Name. And Name is the song that it comes in at number 8. It's a ballad. Now here's where I did like what the 90s did, and the hair bands started doing this in the 90s. The lyrics started getting dramatically better. When you look at like Warrant on Dog Eat Dog, Wild Side, a lot of the lyrics started getting to where they weren't so fucking cheesy, especially like, all the love songs were just, oh baby, you and me, and blah, blah, blah. So the lyrics started getting a little bit darker, a little bit more introspective. I love that. A Boy Named Goo actually went double platinum, and there's a ton of great songs on that album. Flat Top, Long Way Down, Naked, Impersonality. And so what led to their downfall, I think, is they had that movie City of Angels, and they had a song on there called Iris. If you remember that, so massive.
I love that song.
And I love that song, but I think they start, here, Name's a ballad, Iris is a ballad. They started going really light rock, whereas they used to be like a really great rock band with the occasional ballad. Then they started being like a ballad pop rock band. They lost me in the early 2000s, but that early 90s Goo Goo Dolls shit is phenomenal. Name comes in at number 8.
nice.
All right.
I just made the honorable mentions, and so did one of their other songs. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I've been on a big Goo Goo Dolls kick since I started thinking about them a couple days ago. So
That's good
because of
stuff.
this episode.
Yeah, for sure.
With that, let's go on to number 7. Jeremy, what do you got?
All right, number 7. Yeah, this was kind of my first taste of punk. And I know they got labeled sellouts and whatever. Who gives a shit? They sold out every arena. They sold out every show they did for, and are still selling out shows, guys. Just put out a new album. It's, in my opinion, one of their best. It's called Saviors. If you haven't checked it out, it's by a band called Green Day. But the song I'm going with is Basket Case from Dookie.
Love that
The only
song.
Green Day songs I like. Very nice.
What was the other single off that album?
When I Come
When
Around.
I come around.
When
I
I
like
Come
that one.
Around.
Remember, I used to play that one in a band in college.
Yep.
That's a good song.
That album blew up. I mean, that
Yeah.
and the Offspring's
Smash.
Smash.
Smash,
Mhm.
yeah.
And
My
I
next
love
one.
that album. I love
Yeah.
that. I was much more of an
I
Offspring
liked
guy.
Americana better.
Okay.
Did you?
Nah.
Pretty fly for a white guy.
That's
Little
right. Some of them made my list. I actually forgot to put them on. So
I forgot about that. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm shit. And I love pop punk. So, and Green Day brought it back for the 90s. It was really big for a while, and we're going to get into another pop punk band later on my list. Mariah, what's your number 7? 7.
Yeah, 7. So number 7 is My Hero by Foo Fighters. I'm a big Foo
Great
Fighters fan. Most of their better stuff is in the 2000s, but that Everlong. There's some Aurora. There's some big songs in the 90s, but man, My Hero. I love that song, and the opinion I probably get one of the most hate for is I think Foo Fighters is better than Nirvana. Give me Foo
They
Fighters any day.
Right
I
with
like
ya.
some Nirvana songs, but
they are, but they
I
are.
love Foo Fighters.
Not even
Right with you,
close.
Brian. Yeah, good call.
Foo Fighters. Shit. I love it. Yeah, I think Foo Fighters was the band in the 90s that almost, if you liked hair metal, if you liked grunge, everybody could kind of agree that Foo Fighters was a kick-ass rock band.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of were that middle. And it's funny, you were talking about Saviors, coming out recently. Their album, I think it's But Here We Are. That's one of their best albums, top to bottom, I think, that they've done in a long time. That has so many phenomenal songs on it. It's a sad album, because his mom died and
Yeah.
Taylor Hawkins died. So there's,
Yeah.
it's an album about loss, but it's
Yes.
a phenomenal album. Love when, these bands are still making great stuff today. It's great.
Yep. Couldn't agree more.
All right, Brian, what's your number 7?
My number 7, continuing with the grunge, it's Sex Type Thing by Stone Temple
Oh,
Pilots.
yep.
From their album Core from 92. I almost put Cracker Man on the list. That's a great tune, too.
I love
But-
Cracker Man.
Yeah, but this song's got such a great groove to it. That guitar, man, and it just hits you with that. Lyrically, a little, but yeah, it's such a great tune. I think it was the first single off the album, actually.
I
Yep,
think.
it
Yep.
was.
Yeah, and it's just an odd choice with the content of the lyrics that they decided to make that the lead single. But yeah, that's one of my favorite songs off the album.
Great.
Yeah.
Dead and Bloated almost made my list.
Oh,
I used to play that in a band. That's a great tune. Yeah.
STP was a band I could get behind, like if you called them grunge. I wasn't into the other Pearl Jam and shit. I damn near included Interstate Love Song
That's a good
on my
one.
list.
Yep.
Love that song from Stone Temple
Creep's
Pilots.
good.
Yep. All right. Awesome. And I think we're starting to roll a little bit. And Jay, what's your number 7?
Well, Rob Halford is the metal god, and when he quit Judas Priest, he started a little band called Fight.
Yes.
They had a song called Little Crazy, and I fucking love it.
It sounds.
Really, the whole War of Words CD, it's one of those where I'll put it on and I won't skip a thing. Some know it, some don't. One of the guitar players is now Satchel from Steel Panther.
Yep.
Rest Parish.
Amen.
But
I
like
fucking
Scott Travis played drums on it.
Yeah.
And so it was like, little more of a tie into Judas Priest, but yeah, I love that album. I love that song. It was hard to pick just one song off there, but that's the most recent one I had heard, so it gets the nod.
Good.
Pick.
Yeah, what a
Good
great
pick.
album. Their second one was okay, but War of Words was
That's a
transcendent.
great album, right? Great. I totally agree.
Okay, my number 7. I don't know if people are going to remember this band. They had some minor freaking success, but the band Oleander put out 3 albums in the late 90s, early 2000s. Their second album is called February's Sun. It came out in 1999, and they're kind of a post grunge. You can hear some grunge shit influence, darker or like lower style vocals. You might remember the 2 hits on this album because the album went gold. Why I'm Here and I Walk Alone were hits. But I'm going to go with the song Lost Cause off this album. Just pulsing, heavy, like immediately the drums come in 4 to the floor. But then there's times where the song lightens up a little bit, goes a little bit darker and moodier, and then picks up in pace. I love putting this on workout playlists. This band, man, they were put out 3 albums at that time. Phenomenal. They did come out years later with an album. Now I can't remember the name of it. It had some good stuff. But I heard about these guys when I was deploying to Iraq, and another soldier was like, "Dude, you got to check out this Oleander." Started listening to that when I was overseas. Fucking great. So what the hell? So Lost Cause is my number 7 from Oleander.
Nice.
Does that name strike a bell with anybody?
Yeah, we played Why I'm Here. We actually put
does,
that
yeah.
on a demo CD that we took to bars to showcase some of our songs. Why I'm Here was one of those tunes. I got that CD, yeah, right back. That's that good stuff.
Awesome.
I remember hearing the band name, but I had never actually heard them.
Yep.
Or
Okay.
at least not that I'm aware of.
Sure. Okay. All right. We are done with the number 7s. On to the number 6. Jeremy.
All right. I just showed this one a little bit ago from the Offspring album. It was the first song I heard from them. It had that cool intro with that hi-hat, the hitting of the side of the hi-hat and then raising it up. And we still played that live. It's such a cool thing. And it's Come Out and Play, baby. And then you got Self-Esteem, that whole album. But Come Out and Play just
Good album.
set the tone for 20 years of great music from that band. So
I remember I worked in
Separated.
that's right.
Yeah. And I remember I worked in a tire shop, and we have, the radio playing whatever. And one of the guys that worked there would call it the Egyptian song because of the na 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 na.
Sure.
A lot of Egyptian.
Yep.
I see what you're saying.
Absolutely.
You were
That's a
working
good
at a
one.
tire shop making rubbers? What's up? Make sure mine's extra large.
All right.
Oh my God.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Good stuff. Okay. Are we done with that song?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Mariah, what's your number 6?
Oh, 6. We're fucking 6.
My number 6 is another band that released a phenomenal album a couple years ago, and the song is Other Side by Red Hot Chili Peppers off of one of the only good albums from 1999,
Yeah, it's a good tune.
Californication.
That's
Yeah,
a good
there's
tune.
a lot of good ones. Unlimited Love, though, they had 2 albums that came out in 2022, Unlimited Love and then like Something Dream. I don't know. That one wasn't as good, but the album the first album, Unlimited Love, was one of my favorites. They're just still putting out, great tunes, but Other Side is a phenomenal song.
Never got into that band. I never thought the vocals were kind of lame. And
They're not great, but man, they still got some great songs anyways.
Sure. I hear you. And
Yeah.
obviously a huge band. It was just never my thing. So
No, I feel like Anthony Kiedis kind of works for the band, but he's definitely like the weak link in terms of the talent on that band.
Sure. Yep.
Brad Smith
He's a
is
phenomenal.
hilarious.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, say some of the stuff, some of the lyrics are good, but then it's gotten goofy. He just rhymes a bunch of random stuff, and it's like I don't really know what you're saying, but I'm singing along anyways.
Yeah.
All right, Brian, what's your number 6?
My number 6, I'm going to go thrash here from their Sound of White Noise album, Package Rebellion by Anthrax.
Sweet.
It's probably my favorite song off the album. What's his face? What was the, God damn it, John Bush. First time I sang with them. This might be controversial. That's my favorite Anthrax album. I almost put High Pro Glow on there. That's another great tune. But yeah, this one is just a killer. I love this song.
I can draw a comparison to Anthrax with John Bush to, I mean, similar to Motley Crue with John Corabi.
Mm-hmm. I
where that album is a focal point, but it didn't really, I mean, Only was the only big hit on Sound of White Noise. But it's a phenomenal fucking disc that now seems to get more credibility than it did then.
Yeah.
Because if you look at, what was it? Can't remember the name of the one that came after it. Stomp 442, maybe?
Yep.
Where, I mean, that fell off the face of the earth. So did Volume 8 Thread Is Real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's when, I mean, after Metallica had their success, Megadeth went with a more commercial sound, and then Anthrax tried to do the same thing. And yeah, like you said, it wasn't huge, but it's a great album. Every song is a great album. It's a great.
Yeah. Stomp 442 though was a huge disappointment. I have it. I have Volume 8 too, but God, that Sound of White Noise was so epic.
Mm-hmm. What's the one ballad type song? Black Lodge?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is Black Lodge,
a killer tune.
Yeah.
It's just not Anthrax. It didn't sound like anything Anthrax would have done in the 80s.
No.
Not even close.
Okay. All right. Jay, what's your number 6?
Okay. So heavy version of a song by the original artist, but it is Too Cold by Vanilla Ice.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Now, if
Vanilla Ice made it?
Vanilla Ice went metal for one album in the late 90s.
Yeah.
He redid Ice Ice Baby as a song called Too Cold. No bullshit. It is fucking slamming. You probably wouldn't know it was Vanilla Ice unless someone told you. Yeah. Sounds nothing like when he raps. I actually saw him live at that point. Son of a bitch. It was awesome.
Yep.
Was that before or after he was held out a balcony 4 stories up?
That would have been after.
Right after. Yeah.
I think, well, was it Ross Robinson, the producer? He was involved with that album. So, I mean, he had players and pieces in place for it to, for him to try to reinvent himself, but it's Vanilla Ice. Until he got his home improvement show, he didn't reinvent himself.
Yeah.
But I love that song. God, listen to it if you haven't heard it. It is legit fucking heavy.
No.
Sir Mix-a-Lot, Vanilla Ice, fucking MC Hammer coming up. All right.
Hey, man, I love Hammer, but I didn't have enough
Too legit to quit.
Stop.
Fucking right.
Hammer time.
That's for another day, though.
Okay. All right. My number 6. Jeremy already talked about this album. It's the second Collective Soul album. And I love Collective Soul. They just put out a new album like last year. It's a double album. There's 20 songs on it. It's fucking great. Like Ed Roland. I think a lot of people kind of look at Collective Soul and they're like, oh yeah, they had Shine. Yeah, they're kind of a one-hit wonder. Completely false. They Absolutely. Had tons of hits for a number of years. And I love almost everything they've ever done. Well, on that self-titled 1995 album, and it's kind of a sad, depressing song, but the song is called The World I Know. It was actually a massive hit. It went to number 23. That album went triple platinum. And it's just kind of like, it seems it's written, this guy's like in New York City. He's by himself trying to figure out his way in the world. And in the chorus, it goes, so I walk up on high and I step to the edge to see my world below. And I laugh at myself while the tears roll down because it's the world I know. And it's just a great song. I was infatuated with it when it came out and still love that band. So The World I Know by Collective Soul comes in at number 6.
We
love it.
All right. We are done with the 6s. Jeremy, get us started on the 5s.
Right. Halfway there. This song was brought up earlier too. And I agree with you, Mariah. Son of a gun. This was a way better version of Nirvana. And this album is great because Dave was so meticulous about the way the drums were supposed to sound on this album. He actually fired the drummer and did the drum tracks himself, which he still gave him credit in the album. He still gave him writing credit, but he re-recorded all of his drum tracks after it was done before putting it out. It's off of The Color and the Shape, and it's Everlong. One of the coolest drum songs of all time. It's just got these great fills and these great little intricate things that you can't really pick up what he's doing or how he's doing it, but once you do, it is so fun. Everlong comes in at number 5. I love it.
Phenomenal song.
Yeah. Fun video too. Pretty cool video. His videos got pretty fun.
I loved the Foo Fighters. They had so much comedy in their video.
Yeah.
It was fun. I loved that shit. Yeah, great stuff.
Yeah, it's the opposite of grunge in so many ways, which is really funny, given that he's the drummer. But I don't think he subscribed as much to all that. You know, he just liked the band. And he liked Kurt Cobain. You know, they're buddies.
Yeah, but he also grew up. Like he
got
older.
Yeah, that too. You know, he grew up. He had kids. He's like, all right, I'm not an angsty, like teenager anymore. He's like 19 or whatever.
And Brian, soon you're gonna grow up too. Okay, the ball.
One day,
gonna be great.
I'm hoping to be as mature as you, Guru.
Dare to dream.
Yeah.
We're on Brian's number 5, right?
No, mine.
Yeah. No,
Brian's number 5.
Yeah. So my number 5, this is a song I grew up hearing all the time. I don't really know why this one, but number 5 is "Hero of the Day" by Metallica. I like a lot of Metallica, big Metallica fan, and it's funny because my dad was obsessed with that song when he met my mom, and it had come out a couple years earlier. So she associates that song with them dating, and so I grew up hearing it all the time, and just real fond memories, and it's a great song. I love it. It's underrated, and there's some good stuff off of Load, even if it's not as great an album as ones that came before.
Yeah, I agree. Hero of the Day was the first single off that, wasn't it, Mariah?
I think so. I want to say that, and King Nothing was also a single.
King Nothing was a
great song.
Single, yeah. I like Load and Reload. I really do.
Love that song.
Cool.
Okay. All right, Brian, what's your number 5?
My number 5, the last of the grunge bands I got on my list. It's brought up before. It's off Alice in Chains' album Dirt, and it is Damn That River. What a fucking killer riff on that goddamn song. Easily my favorite. I almost went with Wood.
I gave it a 9.5. I still got Wood.
I think that's a really good tune too.
It
and
is.
I looked at the album and I was like, nah, it's got to be Damn That River. What a fucking killer song that is.
Good for
Great.
you. Heaviest song on there, bud, isn't it?
Yeah. It's almost like this isn't grunge. This is almost Pantera level type shit.
You got it.
Yeah, I love that tune.
I heard that song today. I was rocking into my critical reasoning and logic class listening to that song.
the things that Guru doesn't have.
What? Shit. Fucking, I got an A in that class. What's up?
We're absent.
I'm gonna skip. I love this song again off Alice in Chains. What?
Oh,
I must have missed that. What did you say?
He said A for absent. Fucking goddamn.
Oh fuck! That's what I got.
Harvard you.
Pearl Harbor.
I caught that too. That was great.
The song again by Alice in Chains. Hey, that fucking guitar riff kicks ass. Oh, that's a good song too.
You bet.
All right. Now where are we at? Jay? Jay's number 5? Okay.
Not to be outdone by the rest of you guys, I also have Alice in Chains on my list, and it comes in at number 5. I love Damn It River. I love Rooster. I love We Die Young. I almost went with Them Bones, but I took Rotten Apple off of Jar of Flies.
Oh, nice.
Okay, nice.
That song opens with one of the most haunting fucking bass lines I have ever heard. Mike Inez is a genius. Great song, great album, great band. Definitely not a grunge band in my mind because they kind of predate it. I mean, They toured with Poison at one point, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Let's not forget.
Yeah, they idolized Guns N' Roses. I mean, they weren't quite the
Well,
same.
before they went, they remind me of Pantera in the aspect of before they became the Alice in Chains that we know. They played glam metal shit, covers,
Yeah.
and all that stuff in Seattle.
Yeah, Jerry Cantrell was in the hair rock book that I read. He was a big fan of that. He was good friends with like Duff McKagan and a bunch of those guys. It was definitely a bit
And
different.
I know somewhere I saw a video of Lane Staley singing a Motley Crue song. I mean, he had the hair.
Oh, yeah.
He had. I mean,
He was in a band
they
called
were-
Please.
Yeah.
Lane Staley was, and they covered
Yeah.
all that shit.
But it's so weird that we forget there was the time where people liked quote unquote grunge and hair metal.
Yes.
Like it wasn't this divide between the two. And then by like 94-ish, it was like, no, you
Well,
like that old shit.
Right.
Grunge
You
is the
remember
thing.
a show that was on MTV called It Came From the 80s?
Yes.
And there, David Lee Roth said it, and he was right. You know, at one point, metal was what was describing everything from Poison to Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
I mean,
Totally.
people weren't always classifying music. If you either liked it or you didn't, you had rock, you had rap, you had country, you had blues.
Yeah.
Yep, how it should be.
It was
That's-
pretty fucking cut and dried.
So many subgenres kept popping up all the time.
But
Yeah.
what pissed me off is usually in rock, you didn't see one subgenre. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. You did kind of. The thrash bands would obviously shit on the hair metal bands.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wasn't David Stain said
they shit on everybody.
well
Yeah.
David Stain said he used to call glam gay LA metal. That's what
Right.
they would call it. And he would yell shit to like, members of like Motley Crue and then run from them because they would
Right.
fight.
I remember Metallica's original bass player, Ron McGovern. He was a huge fan of Motley Crue.
Yeah.
And
But
I mean, that's been
that's the
documented.
thing. Most of those bands were fans of the shit that they were listening. The
Yeah.
grunge. They
That's
liked
right.
that stuff, and it only pissed me off when they started pretending. Oh, we would have never listened to that.
Yeah,
You know,
I know.
make sure you hide all our old pictures when we were in glam bands.
Well,
So we pretend that we were always above that. That's what pissed me off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
Right.
holier than thou, better than.
Yes.
But honestly, now everyone can love grunge
Yes.
and hair metal like it's supposed to be. You know, hair metal
Yes.
just stopped getting talked about for a decade, but
Yep.
you know,
Right, and-
it's still popular.
yeah,
if
but you gotta
anybody
think
wants to put, if anybody wants to play the ultimate fuck you card to somebody who tried to say they weren't looking up to a hair band, play it to Lars Ulrich, because who this fucking CD did he want his drums to sound like? Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah.
Ah, touche,
Yeah, but-
my man.
That's true, but again, most of those bands were shitting on those bands when it came to like, oh hey, in the interviews and stuff. So
Yeah, we're cool.
I hear you.
We're not like them. Yeah, that's
Metallica single-handedly killed Winger, in my opinion.
and Stewart.
and
yeah, Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
Had it.
Yep.
Sure.
okay,
But it's
give
not
it-
for nothing. I keep saying this. Winger is way too fucking talented for this shit.
No,
No, they are.
doubt.
Hole was a
Way too
phenomenal album.
I
Yeah.
mean, talent-wise, musicians, Winger is far beyond Metallica. Sorry, I'll just put that out there.
Criminally underrated band.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, my number 5. Jeremy, hold up your Smash album again.
Yeah, you got about.
Was that what you call it?
That's right. So I'm not gonna go with anything. I'm gonna go with the song. Thank you, Jeremy. Self-Esteem.
That's a
Mhm.
good one
That's
too.
good.
Smash album. Jeez, we just fucking love those lyrics. You know, this guy who like is always trying to get laid by this chick, but she only calls him late at night. You know, whoever went
Oh,
through
great.
college. But some of the lyrics, I wrote her off for the 10th time today and practiced all the things I would say. But she came over, I lost my nerve, I took her back and made her dessert. Now I know I'm being used. That's okay, man, because I like the abuse. Now I know she's playing with me. That's okay, because I got no self-esteem. Oh, what a great song. I love that album. That thing went like 6 times platinum.
Yeah,
And it was on a fucking, it was called Epitaph was the label. Like an independent record label.
Yep.
And for some reason, that album blew up and shit. I love it.
I could sing it word for word with you. I was just now. I know every word off this album, man.
Totally.
I loved
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
But that was like the late 90s. They went through, I mean, you had glam with its, party, we're having a good time, to grunge, which was depressing. And then by the late 90s, it was this like putting ourselves down. My life sucks. I'm a loser. And it was a totally different attitude where it's like, it was cool to be an outcast loser. That's what it kind of became.
Like, we're all losers. I'm a loser, and so
remember
are you.
Beck's "I'm a Loser"?
Yeah,
that was a huge song.
But it was always like my girlfriend's dumping me. I have no faith in myself, and I don't know what to do right, and I'm just this big nobody that can't seem to get it right. And it's like, dude, but you're in a band that you're selling millions of albums now. What?
Right.
It became harder to write that next album, I'm guessing, Brian.
Exactly. Like I think I took them off my list. I had. I don't want to say too much. No, I don't have them on there anymore. But I had Rage Against the Machine on my list at one point. And it was like, all right, for the first album or two, I get it. You're pissed. Once you start making millions, it's hard to be as mad as you were earlier when you got a shit ton of money. It's just
that's why they're now Rage for the Machine.
What's that?
I said that's why they're now Rage for the Machine.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's the other thing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
good call.
I said that in another video. I don't remember when. I said Rage for the Machine when that came up.
Nice.
And some dude got in my comments and he was pissed. And he was like,
I don't know if it was the same episode. I said something about them, being rich and not being mad. And he goes, well, yeah, but they were talking about social thing. They didn't hate capitalism. Name one song that's them. And I posted the song that was about anti-capitalism. I'm like, what are you talking about, asshole?
And he didn't respond.
Of course not. Of course not.
He was
probably listening now, dipshit.
I was just going to say, we'll get a response tonight. or when this is released, yeah.
Make sure you subscribe to the channel, okay? All right.
Nice. Such a big. I don't remember his fucking name. That's how much I care.
Fuck, I don't know. Okay. Shit. Who just went?
You.
You.
Yeah.
Jeez,
all right. Sounds good. Sounds good. Let's get rolling into number 4. Jeremy, what do you got?
All right. From their second album, we talked about this guy, Mark Tremonti. Obviously, Scott Stapp, by the way, shameless plug. He's got a new album out too. Check it out, guys. It's good stuff. But it's from their second album, Human Clay. And it's my favorite Creed song. I love so much Creed. Huge fan. But What If? That second track, that's when you kind of knew Tremonti had the chops to eventually do the solo stuff and the Ultra Bridge. You knew it was in them, but they held back. They kept kind of radio friendly. But What If from Human Clay just kicked you in the sack.
But that was the thing in the 90s. All of a sudden, like, guitar solos didn't become uncool now.
No, couldn't have.
You had a lot of songs that had no solos. It's like, what is this? What the fuck? But Creed's another band. When they got big, they got a lot of shit from people.
Totally.
Yeah. Just like, oh, what the fuck? I hate these guys.
Yes, totally.
And it was just because they were so massive. And that was another band that I was like, fuck, everything I hear on the radio, I really like,
So I remember getting that album with the video for Higher. And at the end, like, Stapp is like in this Jesus pose in front of the crowd. I'm like, what a self-centered dick. But then I'm like, the song's pretty good though. Fuck.
Right.
Oh, I love the song.
Yeah.
Good song.
Love Creed all the way around, you bet.
Oh yes. Okay, Mariah, what's your number 4?
Yeah. So, it's one I had to switch because earlier in the video I realized that it came out in 1989. I thought it was on their I thought it was a song on a 1992 album. It was on their 89 album. So I'm going with a different song. It was gonna be Epic by Faith No More, and then I'm like, wait a minute, that's on their 1989 album. Hang on, can't do that. So, I've got Drive by Incubus on the other end of the decade.
Nice.
All right.
I will tell you though, Mariah, Faith No More's Epic came out in 90. You would have been golden.
Spotify said 89.
It's
I did my research. It was 90.
It was 89.
No, it came out in 89.
Huh.
I was
just
thinking
looked it up tonight.
What was the name of the album?
The Real Thing. Great album.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it was on Angel Dust from 1992, but I was thinking of Easy,
Came out
which is a good
89.
song.
Okay. Well, my research was wrong then. I had 90
You blew it!
because it's
Yeah.
on honorables.
But yeah, Drive by Incubus, great song, been in a bunch of movies. Again, one of the only good things from like I think it's 1999 again. Great song.
It is.
All right. Okay, awesome. Brian, what do you got?
This is from my favorite song off this album, from Vocal Display of Power by Pantera, Regular People, and in parentheses, Conceit. What a
Hell yeah.
song. Oh, so goddamn good. And it's just like, what are the lines? Any streetwise son of a bitch knows don't fuck with this. And you listen to that and go, no, sir, I will not.
Yep. You believe it.
What a great tune.
Yeah.
I played the shit out of that album. The cassette's all busted up and I've had to fix it numerous times. The jewel case is broken, but yeah, that is my favorite one off that album.
Excellent.
That's a little heavier than I like to go, but
oh, it's
I
so
appreciate it.
You put that album on, you want to, kick faces and punch throats. But it's
you do, man. You want to put your fist through a wall, Brian.
Yeah,
it really does make you.
That album cover pretty much sums up what that album's all about.
It does.
And the guy who is taking a fist to the face, he was paid like a couple $100, and they punched him like a bunch of times to get the right shot. And then they're like, "All right, here's your money."
Fantastic.
So, it did. And then the band was in an interview like, "Yeah, we don't know what happened to him. Paid him like $300, and that was it. Never saw him again."
That's the real deal right there, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Moving on to Jay. What's your number 4?
Misery by Soul Asylum.
Oh, fuck.
Okay.
I love that band, and I love that song.
Good tune.
Yeah, I mean, they hit with Runaway Train, and I really liked the album after that. Let Dim Light Shine, that Misery's on. A lot of good shit on it. That song is just, I don't know, it's almost timeless to me. Sounds as good now as it did back in the mid-90s.
Good pick.
I love the opening line. They say misery loves company. We could build a company and make misery. Frustrated Incorporated. I just think that's so cool.
Mm-hmm. Catchy as shit.
Yeah.
Great album. And the one before it, Grave Dancers Union, that had Runaway Train. I almost had a couple songs from that. And I did a video where I did 5 albums from the 90s that I like. So I tried to not include any of that. So I didn't include any Soul Asylum. So, okay. All right. Moving on to my number 4. Because Soul Asylum's from Minneapolis, another Minneapolis band called Semisonic, and they had a massive hit. I think it went to number 1 with Closing Time in 1998. And you might think, oh, and they're a one-hit wonder, but they put out 3 albums, and it's amazing pop rock.
Yeah.
I mean, it's poppy as shit. If you know Closing Time, that's what they had, ballads. They never went heavy. The dude had a pretty singing voice. Dan Wilson was the name of the singer and songwriter. And if you don't know, like, Closing Time, one last call for alcohol, so finish your whiskey or beer. And here's a great line. Closing time, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Mm-hmm.
Man, and bars used to play that constantly when it came to Closing Time. I love that band and that album. And Dan Wilson, the singer-songwriter, has won like Grammys. He's written shit for the Dixie Chicks. Who's the Adele? So the guy is like, I mean, he must have millions of dollars because he's written big hits for some of the biggest artists around. Great band. So
nice.
Number 4. Okay, we're moving on to the number 3s. Jeremy, start us off.
Right. All right, this guy came from a band that had some major success, but then went solo and went on to have even bigger success. This is my wife's favorite song by this band. It's actually a kind of a solo project, but I love it too, and it is my favorite song from Rob Zombie, Dragula.
Ooh, yeah.
Nice.
Played that one live for years and never got tired of playing that one. So much damn fun. So just a grooving tune, got everything going. The video's fun to watch. You got, you could see the love for the horror movies, and he's driving around in the Dragula. Just a cool song. Cool
Just
video.
the name Dragula says it all.
Yeah, amen, man. Just Dragula, yeah. So that's mine.
Good one.
That's that. I mean, you cannot help but fucking move around when you hear that song. It's like, holy shit, here I go.
Yep.
Oh, love that song. Okay, Mariah, what do you got?
Yeah, so this is definitely probably one of the least known songs on my list or anyone's list. But I'm a massive fan of the band. They're my top 10 bands. This was my first album I ever owned, my first that I ever got on my own. And the song is "Leg" by Newsboys. Christian band, started in the late 80s. Their biggest stuff is probably in the 2010s, but it's off a 94 album called Going Public, and it's a slower song. I'm bringing some of the depressing back because it's about someone that committed suicide and someone, picking up the pieces when they're gone and it wasn't expected, they didn't expect it. So the lyrics that I wanted to read were, hear me out, I have the floor. I'll give you my tears, I'll listen more. You promised you would overcome evil with good. And maybe this place is a barren place. Maybe this world is a barren place for a soul prone to get lost. But heaven still hounds from the smallest sounds to the cries of the storm-tossed. It's now week 9, I'm writing in the sand any little clue that can help me understand every whispered secret, every muffled sigh, every half-truth that was added to a lie.
Nice.
So, there's some good stuff on that. It's been one of my favorite songs since as long as I can remember. I've gotten yelled at by my family for singing that in the shower way too loud, so.
I saw them 3 times, Mariah, with 2 different singers. Such a great band. Such an inspirational band.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they're great. They have everything. They had a disco album in the 90s. This was more of a rock album. They've had pop. They've had worship. I mean, they've had it all. They've had 2 lead singers. Both of them were great. Their current one stepped down last week, and that sucks.
I saw that.
But, yeah, phenomenal album, phenomenal song that should have been a hit even in, the intended audience, and it wasn't, except Shine, I think, was big for them, so. But, yeah, love that song.
Okay. All right, Brian, what's your number 3?
My number 3, I think we've brought up this band before, but they're not quite hair metal. And I struggled to pick one song, especially from their first 2 albums. So I went with one from their debut, Shake Your Moneymaker. It's Struttin' Blues by the Black Crowes.
Hey.
What a great tune. I mean, it sounds like it was written in 1975. Such a good song. There's so many good songs by those guys, especially the first 2 albums. And I had to pick something. That's one of my favorites from the album, so I just went with that. I almost had Sting Me from the second album, which I think is a killer tune as well. But, yeah, I went with that.
I remember when the second Southern Harmony and the
Musical Companion.
Musical Companion, and the first single, Remedy, I just did not get. I was like, what is
It's not
this?
one of my favorites. I played that in a band too, and it's really different if you don't have the background singers to do it. But I mean, the rest of that album is just fucking great.
But I love Twice as Hard, Jealous Again, and I think He Talks to Angels is one of the best ballads of the 90s.
One of my least favorite songs off the album.
Oh, love that song.
Seeing
Not
Things
on my
for the
list,
First
but-
Time is a better ballad, I thought.
Which one?
Seeing Things for the First Time.
Sure.
That's
I know
a
that
really
song.
good ballad, yeah.
All right.
But that whole album is just like, holy shit. 1990, no one's playing stuff like this. They're from the 1970s. And it was almost like, oh shit, all right, it's old school rock right here.
Yeah.
And they're completely not hair metal, but when they came out, it was like, oh, well, they're kind of like the Choir Boys. They're this new style of hard rock that most of us are gonna love. Hair metal bands love fucking the Black Crowes.
I
Not
remember
fucking the Black Crowes, but they loved the Black Crowes.
We got it. But I think I told the story on this channel before. I know I said it on my show where I first heard about these guys at Headbangers Ball, and Ricky Rackman introduced them, saying 2 new bands that came out, heavy 70s influence. One was the Black Crowes, the other one was the London Choir Boys. That's what they're called at the time. And Black Crowes blew up, and the London Choir Boys, I don't know how they didn't.
Yep.
I mean, that's just as good. A bit of What You Fancy is an unbelievably good album.
Totally.
And Spike has a great voice, very Rod Stewart sounding.
Yeah.
Phenomenal voice.
Yep. Okay, Jay, you're number 3.
I'm going across the water to Australia. Silverchair tomorrow.
Nice.
Hmm.
At that point when that came out, and age-wise was in comparison with me, and just like Bad for Good a few years earlier, I mean, it gave hope to people that were that age trying to do something in music. And I think Frog Stomp is fucking phenomenal. There is a lot of good tunes on that album.
Yep. Is that the one with about "Gonna kill you, fat boy"? Is it that one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
And the singer really looked like he could have been a young version of Kurt Cobain.
Oh, Daniel
That was
Johns.
like kind of controversial because a lot of people like, oh, they're just trying to create another Nirvana, but they were a pretty good band.
The thing with that band was, Daniel Johns, singer, guitar player, he was the focal point.
Yep.
The bass player is the one that wrote most of the music.
Yeah, right.
So I know
The bass players can be good for something.
Listen to a band without a bass player, you'd be like, wait, something's missing in this fucking.
And
you know what
Justice
you
for
get
All.
with hard music
Yeah.
and no bass? You get And Justice for All.
Yeah,
There you go,
it sounds
exactly.
weaker because of it.
Yep.
Exactly.
True. Okay, my number 3, and damn it, and I didn't really put them in an order, but I think if you've forgotten the song, if you play it after you listen to this, you're gonna go, holy shit, I loved that thing because it was a minor hit. But the song is Plowed by a band called Sponge. And they put out an album in 1994 called Rotting Pinata. And this song,
What a 90s title.
what's that?
It's such a 90s album title.
Oh yeah, Rotting Pinata.
Yeah.
Almost punk-like, just forward of the floor, makes you want to move. And the lyrics don't even really, but when you hear where I'm lost and I'm found and I can't touch the ground, I'm plowed into the sound. That song. Is anybody like?
That sounds familiar.
I don't know it.
Yeah, the names sound. I reckon.
Well, you said the lyrics, and I'm like, I've heard that somewhere, but like, I apparently don't know it well enough. But I know those lyrics.
Yep. So
It's no Baby Got Back. Those lyrics are.
it's not Baby Got Back, but it's a close second. So yeah, check that shit out. Great song. And that moves us on to our number 2s. And Jeremy is taking a rare break.
No, I'm not, man. My battery's going low. I'm trying to track down the cord. I'm trying to make it through this vid.
No worries.
But I'll do my number 2. Hopefully, I don't die out on you here.
Yep. If you got to leave after the number 2, just
I'll get charged up. I just got to go find a cord. Okay, so this is one of my favorite bands. Just saw them live in Fargo recently. Met them. Got to hang out with them. Got some merch signed. It was really a highlight. They were phenomenal. Just put out a new album, which is really good. Butch Walker, of course, wrote some songs on it. And they were my favorite band for at least a year. And it's from Place in the Sun, My Own Worst Enemy. Also
Great
put that one
song.
on demo that we took around to bars. Love that tune. Love their style. Love how upbeat and happy they were. And those brothers, the Pop-Off brothers, just having a blast rocking out, man. Supposed to see them in Fargo back when they were big, but the show got canceled, so I was bummed. But got to see them last year, so made up for it.
And they have put out a ton of albums and a lot of really good stuff. They put out an album a couple of years ago, and I have Apple Music, and I was like, fuck, this is great stuff. You're not going to hear it on, you're not going to hear about them. That most people would say they're kind of a one-hit wonder. They did have some other hits besides that, but I'm right with you. Great band.
Excellent. Okay, I'm gonna charge up here, guys. Hopefully.
All right, Mariah, what's your number 2?
Yeah, my number 2, staying in the depressing. I didn't realize I'd put these in a row because I didn't really order them, but it's The Drugs Don't Work by The Verve.
Oh,
thank you.
Love that song. Bittersweet Symphony is a good one, but I always thought The Drugs Don't Work was the best off that album. It's a sad song. It's about, the drugs not working and, someone's spouse, passing away, and they're not working, and you hope that they'll remember you as they're dying and as their, life is leaving and they're forgetting everything. So It's depressing, but man, wonderful song.
I know that song. When I hear, I always thought, and I could be completely wrong. When I hear the drugs don't work, I was thinking like, when you start drinking and it's a great time and blah, blah but then 20 years later, the sad, broken down alcoholic, like, hey, the booze doesn't work anymore. That's what I was thinking. Like the drugs don't, like, I no longer get high. I'm just addicted to them. That's what I thought it was referring to, but I could be wrong.
Or a bad dealer putting fucking baking powder on your goddamn.
There you go. There you go.
I think I read that it wasn't, because I thought it was about drugs too, but it's just about someone departing his life and how awful that was, and knowing they're dying, and just the process of watching that. So
Sure.
But
Okay.
Great song.
Awesome. Brian, what's your number 2?
My number 2, I brought this band up before. They're not technically hair metal, though the drummer made it on my was it All-Star supergroup we did that video on. It is Surrounded by Dream Theater from their Images and Words album from 92. How this song wasn't a massive hit is beyond me. I mean, it starts off with, Labrie singing with the piano and just builds up. And then at the end of the song, it's just going all epic, and then brings it back to just the piano and Labrie singing. But yeah, that thing should have been massive. I don't understand how I don't think it was even released as a single. But yeah, great album. That's a great tune. That's my number 2.
I love Dream Theater. That fucking CD is awesome.
Yeah, I played the shit out of that in the summer of 92. Again, tape worn out, the jewel case busted. All the time we were listening to that song.
That means it's a good album.
Awesome. I just realized that my fucking computer is going too, so I just went and got my charger. All right, we're on to Jay's number 2, and just go ahead. I'm just gonna plug this in real quick. Go ahead, Jay.
All right. Well, of the bands of the 90s, or that hit in the 90s, there was a couple that really shaped me as a musician. And they happen to be my number 1 and number 2.
Oh, we lost that.
Number 2 is Godsmack, Keep Away.
Oh, nice.
I remember the first time I heard Godsmack, and I want to say it was the song Whatever, but like, what the fuck is this? And oh shit, I love that whole fucking CD. I won't skip anything. Everything on it's a hit, and they have tons of hits over the years. Still do. They're on my short bucket list of bands to see live too. I have never had the chance.
Awesome. Shit. Yeah. And I remember seeing a YouTube clip of them doing Highway to Hell, and it was so badass. I mean, they really like cranked it up heavier and harder, and Sully Erna sounded great singing. It was fucking cool. I have seen them live because I saw them open for Metallica at the Fargo Dome here in Fargo. So
nice. Now, Sully Erna is a hell of a drummer too, not just being a guitar player. Bonus points if you know what band he was a drummer in before Godsmack.
Oh, I don't know.
I knew this.
There's a band called Malaya Rage.
Yep, I know them.
He was the drummer in that band.
Well, their first drummer was a guy I think named Tommy Stewart, and his previous band was Lillian Axe.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of.
Yep.
Yeah, Malaya Rage was, I don't know, straight ahead heavy metal. And Sully was the drummer in that band for quite a few years.
Awesome. Okay. What happened to Jeremy?
He probably ran out of power.
I don't
understand. My iPad's running low. I got my cord right here. No problem. I'm not running around looking for shit. I'm responsible.
I've had my laptop plugged in the whole time.
You're just a little bit better than everybody else. Okay, Brian?
I am better than everyone else, but let's move on.
Okay.
Not about me. It's about songs. Let's keep going.
All right. My number 2. So I like pop punk. You know, when hair metal was going down, I never went into grunge. I got into poppier stuff. I've talked about Toad the Wet Sprocket on this channel. Shit, I just talked about Semisonic. And I love a lot of pop punk bands. So Blink 182 in 1999 puts out an album called Enema of the State. Now, their previous album called Dude Ranch actually went platinum. There was a big hit. Now I can't remember what the fuck it's called. And here comes Jeremy back in. But this Enema of the State was massive. Shit. Now I'm gonna let Jeremy get on here
Why?
because I love him.
You know, I haven't heard a good dick joke tonight. Are you guys slipping?
I talked about needing an extra large condom about 30 minutes ago. Okay.
Yeah,
did?
I said a good
For
one.
what?
Yeah.
Your arm?
Hey,
That extra large condom.
gotta
Fucking
protect your arm,
Google
too.
fit 70 of his penises in it.
you gotta protect your arm too. All right. You ever heard of an oral dam?
Go ahead, make the joke. I'm not going to answer that question.
No, I'm serious.
Yes, I have.
A dental, or maybe it's called a dental dam. Like if you want
Yeah, I've heard of
to
that.
oral sex, you put this thing over her, you know, and then you lick like the fucking thing. Like that sounds like the dumbest thing ever. Like
Well, that'd be some old school redneck way of doing it. Get a roll of fucking saran wrap.
There you go. There you go. Mariah, aren't you glad you came on tonight? All right, good.
She wasn't paying any attention to that. We're safe.
I don't hear you. Blah blah blah.
I was. I hear stuff just as bad from my brothers.
There you go. Okay. Jeremy, my number 2 is called Adam's Song from Blink 182 from their 1999 album Enema of the State. Had some massive hits. All the Small Things was a massive hit. What's My Age Again was a massive hit. But Adam's Song was like, they were usually known for their humor, you know, injecting a lot of potty jokes and shit. Their videos were always hilarious. But this Adam's Song was actually kind of a darker song. And there's a part where this line comes up. He says, the tour was over, we'd survived. I couldn't wait till I got home to pass the time in my room alone. And I deployed to Iraq in 2003, and we had music, or, you know, we had little CD players. We could order CDs. Our family would mail us shit. But that line when he talks about, you know, the tour was over. I finally survived. I couldn't wait till I got home. And I just used to, because you never got to be alone in Iraq. You were out, you had, you know, the bathrooms were all communal. You lived in a tent. You know, you never got to go sit and hang out in the tent by yourself or whatever. So it was like, oh, I just, you know, you kept thinking, one day I'm going to be able to just sit in my own place and there's not going to be 2 people within 5 feet of me, and it's going to be amazing. So, but then there's kind of a sad part where it gets to the end and he says, another 6, oh, I never thought I'd die alone. Another 6 months I'll be unknown. Give all my things to all my friends. You'll never step foot in my room again. You'll close it off, board it up. Remember the time that I spilled the cup of apple juice in the hall. Please tell mom this is not her fault.
Yeah.
And I love that line. And here's why that song really hit me is those lyrics hit me. But if you remember Columbine, the school shooting happened in 1999. And I can't remember, it was like 12 or 13 kids got shot by these 2. But there was another kid, I read an article about him a year later. He was a big sports star and he didn't get shot, but it impacted him so much. And it's horrible. They found him hanging in his garage with Adam's Song by Blink 182 on repeat. And I just remember this article, you know, even talking about it, I kind of get like goosebumps and chills. But that he didn't want to hear that there were only 13 people who were killed at Columbine. He counted this kid who killed himself. And I always loved that song, but after reading that story, it just grabbed me even more. So it's a sad song, but I love that band, Blink 182. So Adam's Song is my number 2.
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay. that brings us to our number ones. Finally,
That's the most depressing episode of this fucking show ever. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because it's not the hair metal episode.
It was 90s.
can't all be beat off jokes and all that shit, Brian.
There's nothing depressing about.
We gotta. Hey, just like music, we have to grow and mature, like everybody else does from time to time. Okay.
Well, all the rest of it.
We'll get back to the dick and masturbating jokes next episode.
That's right. That's right.
Let's get
our
on to
top
our
10 songs about penises.
That's right. That's right. Mariah, you can find one about vaginas if you want.
Detachable Penis by Keith Missile. There you go, Brian. You remember that shit?
Detachable penis. Yep.
All right.
I love that song. It's hilarious when he loses it in his medicine cabinet and he goes looking for at rummage sales. It's hilarious. King Missile.
Or the song by Scatterbrain, Mr. Johnson and the Juice Crew. There's another one.
That one.
That reminds me of the Dream Band and all the band names we had. Ron Jeremy presents the Money Shots. Anyway, let's go on to our number ones, and we're in a different order now, but let's just keep going. So we'll go. Jeremy will start with his number one.
Okay. First of all, I apologize, guys. I had a full battery. I didn't bring my cord home. I'm truly sorry. That was embarrassing. No, seriously, I'm freaking embarrassed by that. I was stupid. But anyway,
he's celebrating it. What the fuck?
Yeah, he's celebrating that I was gone for a while. I get it. I get it. So anyway, sorry to everybody, but I'm back and thank God. What's up, Brian?
No one notices when the drummer's missing.
No, hell no. No, especially when we're talking about ballads like Guru was doing there, right?
Yeah.
Just teasing you, Guru.
That's all right. All right.
Okay, my number one, I was really happy to represent this, a new shirt for me. So it's Megadeth, and that is my number one. It was the first time you actually got to hear Megadeth on mainstream radio. And let's be honest, probably the only time they ever had a hit on mainstream radio.
What song are you going with?
What's that?
You didn't say the song. What song?
I'm getting there, and it's Symphony of Destruction. That killer bass line of Ellefson. God, that was infectious. I don't care if you were a country, rap, whatever. If you were a girl or a guy, that song could get you. And still does to this day. It's a song that I'll never grow tired of. Symphony of Destruction put them on the map a little bit. Got them a little bit of fame and fortune. And I wish there would have been more.
What a great album. What a goddamn.
Son of a bitch was that great.
I just like
kept
the line,
getting better.
just like the Pied Piper led rats through the streets. Oh, and the way he sings it.
Yep, dance like marionettes. Yep,
Yeah.
swaying to the Symphony of Destruction, baby. Good stuff.
I love that song. That song
I
is so
never
good.
got into what the fuck? Are you still there?
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
My computer just went. Everything was off the screen for a second. What the fuck?
Megadeth's too real for it.
Megadeth's too real. I never was into Megadeth until I heard Countdown to Extinction or Symphony of Destruction, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I love that song. So
there's so many good songs off that album. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's another one that I won't skip a song on.
Yeah.
Me either, bud.
Yeah.
Me either.
Skin of My Teeth is great. I really like High Speed Dirt. That's one of my favorites off that album.
Mm-hmm.
A little jazz lick that what's his face puts in.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
All right.
That's a great song.
Yeah, awesome. And I actually just listen. I put on the Megadeth debut on YouTube the other day because, again, like I didn't listen to 80s Metallica until probably the 2000s. And now I'm like, shit, you know what? I should go back and listen to old Megadeth because I wouldn't be surprised if that shit grabbed me like 80s Metallica did. But
if you listen to early Metallica, it is basically early Megadeth. It's like Mustaine wrote all those songs.
Yeah.
Anthony.
Yep.
This last thing I'm going to say, I swear to God, but give In My Darkest Hour a chance.
I think I know that song, but okay.
That song makes the hair on your arm stand
album.
up. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Listen to it.
Is that where it goes? In my time of need.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I know that song.
Yeah.
Didn't they play that on Decline of Western Civilization?
Yep.
Yes, they did.
That's right. That's right.
Yep. Best lyrics on that.
Yep. Okay. Shit. And Brian, you were after Jeremy. Brian, what's your number one?
I was.
No,
Mariah, you were after Jeremy.
God,
What's your number one?
See what happens when you do jerk off
First
jokes?
of
You
all-
have no idea what's going on. You're losing order and track.
Hey, the jerk off jokes are coming back shortly, okay?
No pun intended.
No pun intended. Coming back. Mariah, what's your number one?
First of all, Jeremy, I gotta say, I love the shirt. That is awesome.
Thank you, Mariah. I appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
Need to get a Megadeth shirt. That needs to happen. My number one is, I think it was like one of my top songs on my Spotify Wrapped last year. We're sticking in 1992, but completely opposite style of song. We got No Rain by Blind Melon.
Mhm.
I love that
song.
That's a good one.
I shouldn't love that song so much, but I do. So, love it. Great song.
So catchy.
I was going to say that as a joke.
What's that?
Wasn't that
I was
song
gonna
just
say
brought
that
up
as
on
a
one of your other
joke.
episodes?
That's the one with the bee girl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll be honest, I bought that CD right after that song came out. Now, I didn't really, after that, I was kind of like, there was some decent stuff. But that song was, and what a massive.
That song was massive.
Massive.
Yeah.
That song was huge.
Yeah, it's not the typical style of vocals that I like, but it just works with that song. I don't think there are other Blind Melon songs I really got into, but yeah, that song never fails to get me moving and excited when it comes on.
Yeah.
And another songwriter, singer that tragically died of drug overdose from the 90s.
Real early.
Noon. Okay. Now it's Brian. Brian, what's your number one?
This song, I mean, as soon as you came up with the list, this is going to be my number one. No question about it. It is My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion.
I knew it. I knew it.
No, it's not. I mean, this song was, as soon as I put my list, it's going to be number one. It is from Megadeth, like you had, Jeremy. Their masterpiece. It's a thrash masterpiece from Rust in Peace. The title of the leadoff track, Holy War is the Punishment Due.
Beautiful.
Hell yeah.
I think Take No Prisoners might be my favorite song off that album, but that song is peak Megadeth, peak thrash. The song is unfucking real. Every time I put it on, I am raising the volume from that beginning. And it's like, fuck yeah, I'm not lowering this. The song is done. And it's like 3 different songs in one because they change it up. But my God, what a great song. I don't think Metallica has ever written a song that fucking good in the thrash category. No way. And the thing is, he wrote that song after Megadeth was playing in Ireland, and he noticed the kid was selling T-shirts saying, fight for the cause.
Yeah.
Because, Catholics and Protestants want to kill each other over there in the late 80s.
Yeah.
And Dave didn't understand what the meaning of this shirt was. And on stage, he said, hey, I'm going to buy a shirt, fight for the cause. He didn't know what the cause was. Yeah, support this. Yeah, we're all on board. The next day, Elfson says to him, you asshole, what the fuck were you thinking last night? And Mustaine used to like to drink, so he didn't remember anything. He's like, well, what happened? He's like, we had to be escorted by security off the stage, and police were outside to make sure we didn't get killed because the shit you were saying on stage about this stuff. Like, he had no clue how touchy this shit was. And even in the song, it says, fools like me, we cross the sea and come to foreign lands. He had no fucking clue what the climate was with this shit. But yeah, this song is just so goddamn killer.
Absolutely.
Such a great way to introduce that classic lineup of Megadeth. Unbelievable song.
Well,
oh yeah.
In my opinion, that's probably the greatest thrash song, period, by any band of the genre.
I'm with you.
And the musicianship of that lineup.
Oh my God.
Jesus fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't get a better drummer than Nick Menza.
Oh, all right.
You couldn't get a better guitar pairing of Dave Mustaine and Marty Friedman.
Mm-hmm.
And Ellison was before he was what he is now, he was a hell of a beast on a bass.
Yes, he was. He was. I actually got to interview Friedman. I think it was in between. I think they were recording Countdown to Extinction. I was in college. And at the time, I was working at my father's place, and my brother was like, he ran everything at the high school radio station. So, you know, the record labels don't know what's at the high school radio station real. So just have interviews. Calls me up at work and he says, I'm interviewing Friedman from Megadeth. I'm like, oh, that's fucking awesome. You know, good luck with that. About a half hour later, he calls me back and says, they're calling like around, 6 tonight. I'm not going to be around. Can you do the interview for me? I'm like, what? Yeah, fuck yeah, I'll do that. And then pick up the phone, talking to him. And at first it was like, let me try and play this out like an actual interview. So tell us about the new album. What are you guys working on? And after like a couple of questions, like I don't have anything else. We must have bullshitted for a good 20 minutes after that, just about music and playing. Oh, it was so fucking epic. I'm like, holy shit, I just talked to Marty Friedman on the phone.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Read the autobiography, Rest in Peace, too, Ryan. I think you'd really enjoy that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's living in Japan now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just plays over there. He doesn't even bother coming back to the States.
Oh, actually, he does.
Does he? I thought
he does some solo tours. It either just did one or will be doing one.
No shit. I thought he wasn't doing anything.
It's all like club type stuff.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
It's awesome.
All right.
Hey, Brian, that song made my honorable mentions. That is a phenomenal song. I love it.
I knew that was going to be my number one. As soon as you said 90s and not hair, I'm like, fuck yeah, it's that.
Yeah.
I'm recording that one up. Makes the cutoff. I'm putting it on there. No way I'm not.
Frickin' love you dudes, man, for loving Megadeth. I'd never, ever expected that. That's awesome.
Such a great band.
Full of surprises, Jay.
All right, Jay. Give us something good. What do we got?
Well, you saw the tattoos on my arm earlier. I had Megadeth, and on the flip side, I had Pantera. So my number one is Pantera. The first thing I heard from them was Primal Concrete Sludge. Jesus fucking Christ. Blew my mind. And that was on ABC of all places. They used to have this show called In Concert. And I remember
that.
They were on there one night, play that, Metallica, and I think AC/DC. It's like a half-hour little shitty show. But I caught that, and it's like the gates opened, if you will. Yeah. And I have been a diehard Pantera fan ever since. Rest in peace, Dimebag Darrell. He was a god.
Amen.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Vinnie Paul too, bud.
Yep.
I wasn't a big Pantera fan, but I read Rex Brown's book. I read a book about Dimebag Darrell and the killing at the El Rosa Villa. I've just been infatuated. I love, I watch their home videos. Their home videos are fucking hilarious. Like, they're just getting everybody wasted and doing, they'll pay their security guard $4,000 to eat a 10-pound cake.
Keeping up with that, Guru. I remember I sent you a link to some songs like a week ago after we did a video.
Yep.
And one of the bands was a band called Lionheart from here in Iowa.
Okay, yep.
Their singer, Ted, Dime taught him how to play guitar. He was one of their roadies back in the day.
Oh, no shit.
And he's got stories for days about
I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah, what a sad story. But damn. I mean, they just looked like great guys, and they never hid their love for hair metal. They were like, no, fuck. They were like fucking Van Halen. We love all that shit,
Yeah.
Who's gonna fuck with them? I'm actually gonna fuck with them. They didn't give a fuck.
And there's a great Warrant. In 1992, they're playing Italy at a festival. Warrant's on stage. They play after Pantera. Dimebag Darrell comes on stage with the bottle of Jägermeister during Warrant's set. He's like, fuck it, I don't care. I like this shit. It was just epic.
Pantera had that spirit. They did what they did. They didn't give a fuck whether this person liked it. They didn't care at all.
Yep.
And I love that spirit. I mean, look at my little list here. I don't give a fuck if anybody thinks that watches this thing liking Pantera and Sir Mix-a-Lot
Maybe you should start caring a little bit more there, Jay. Okay.
Not a chance. Not a chance at all.
No, don't. You do
Uh,
you.
uh,
That's right.
Unapologetic in everything that they
Amen.
were,
Amen.
and I take that to heart. So
Hell yeah. Hell
As
yeah.
you should. As
I
you
salute
should.
I salute you. You know I'm fucking with you. I think it's a blast.
of
right.
course, I can't wait to see the comments from a few people once
Oh,
we get
sure.
this video put out. Oh yeah, I'll be
Fuck
reading.
'em.
Take it easy. Take it easy. He's from Iowa. Okay. All right. My number one. Have we had any duplicate songs this entire episode?
No,
No, duplicate.
I will say this: the
That's
stuff
crazy.
since we're not doing the honorable mentions.
Yep.
Some of the stuff that would be on my list.
Well,
that
no, that's
was
honorable
in that
mentions.
episode. Some of that stuff has been mentioned by Jeremy, by Brian.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, you guys
Mine
have
too.
all that stuff mentioned that's been on my list.
Okay. We're gonna have our first duplicate because Jeremy, I'm right with you on my own worst enemy from Lit is my number one. That when that thing came out, it had elements of the pop punk, but I also was like, shit, it kind of reminded me of hair metal in a way.
Yeah.
You know, the lyrics were just fun and about partying and messing around. Their videos were kick-ass and fun. I remember I think if I remember right, in the video, they kind of dress like, or at least in one of the Lit videos, they dress like they're in hair metal bands,
Absolutely.
like hair metal shirts. And I thought that was one of the most utterly catchy, awesome. The guitar riff was unreal. It was the catchiest thing I had ever heard, and I wanted that band just to blow up and be huge. Like I said, they put out a number of great albums, but on the second album, even the luster kind of started to fall off. They weren't getting played as much on radio, but great. I would love to interview them. So hey, if anybody from Lit is watching this shit, reach out to me. But they seem like great guys. The Pop Off Brothers. They're awesome live and just a great band. So Lit comes in at number one on my list.
Fantastic.
Cool. And with that, we get to the end. We would love to hear what are your favorite non-hair metal related songs of the 90s. Go down in the comments. Hey, like, subscribe, whatever you can do to support the channel. We appreciate it. Hey, let's say goodbye to our roundtable members. Appreciate you guys so much for coming on. Jay, this was kind of your idea. Jay, thanks for being on.
Not a problem. I'm glad to be here. This was fun. And until the next one. Oh, a little shout out to my coworker, Brandon, who's been chiming in on Facebook a little bit with some of these things. He's going to love this list. Hey, Brandon.
Yeah, he always he always accuses you of liking, what was it again?
Celine Dion, My Heart Goes On.
That's all right.
The story of that was one day he was cruising up the street in a Bobcat, and I was dumping a load of corn, and he's singing the fucking song. I hear it blaring out of the Bobcat, and when it's the part where he was singing My Heart Will Go On, he's pointing at me. I think the farmer thought I was gay.
Holy shit, dude, I found a dildo!
It was a day. It was a day.
That's okay. I thought you were gay for a while too. It's all right. I got over it.
Oh my God.
Right?
Hey, Jeremy, thanks for being on, man.
Yeah, thank you. Guys, this was a blast. Thank you for bringing me back to some of these tunes. There was a couple new ones that I'm excited to check out. So thanks for having me on. Appreciate you as always, my man.
Awesome. And I'll put everybody's X accounts up here. Mariah, always great to have you on.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. This is great. Like Jeremy said, I look forward to the tracks I didn't know, and I appreciate being reminded of ones that I'm like, oh shit, I forgot that existed.
And Mariah wasn't even alive when any of these songs came out. But
Yeah.
I wasn't.
That's old
That's the one,
fucks.
baby.
Yeah, that's awesome. But her knowledge of, man, I'm just consistently impressed with how she knows this shit without having not been born when, during the stuff that we're talking about. So awesome. Brian.
You guys have an advantage. You guys got to hear it as it came out, and I'm hearing it however many years later. But hey, it's still great stuff. It's timeless.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Brian from the Hairband Basement. Thanks for being on, man.
Thanks for having me on, giving me the opportunity to present the best list out of everyone here. You can go through my shit. You can catch me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at HB Basement. Always talking music there. Download the Station Head app. Check out my show where I play deep tracks of hair metal. None of this stuff, but whatever. And if I'm usually on Friday nights. You miss it, I record all the shows. You can listen to the app right there. So check it out.
Hey, follow me on X at Hair Metal Guru. Check out my Facebook pages, Classic Rock Fargo, Hair Metal Guru. I appreciate everybody who takes some time to watch what it is we do here, and I appreciate all these guests that come on and make the videos as awesome as they are. Until the next video comes out, my name is Anthony. They call me the Guru. Take care.